It's a good morning in Nevada, and I am heading out to my garden. Why don't you come along with me and I will show you just what I'm up to. Let's go. Now that I'm out here, I want to sort of give you an idea of what I'm going to be doing. So I have to cut some of my vegetables. I'm really not sure what this particular cauliflower is that I bought, but I'm going to actually cut it today and cut some of my kale and some baby collards and sort of do a stir fry. So you'll get to see what that's like in my first, I guess, experiment with this new cauliflower. I've never seen cauliflower grow like this. I thought something was wrong with mine. You know, cauliflower grows in this big head, so I'm thinking it's going to be like that. But as it's starting to get really leggy, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what did I do? Well, I looked it up and I actually just bought the wrong kind of cauliflower. So this is truly an experiment for me. So come along and let me show you what that's going to look like. So let's go to the garden together and let me show you just what I'm going to be doing. You can see some of my plants on my porch there, my little trees. Some of those things are actually starting to bud right now, but here we are. And this is where I want to show you just what it is that I'm doing. So I really wanted you to see my cauliflower that I was talking about earlier. I don't know what I bought. I mean, I know I bought cauliflower, but it just doesn't look the same. And so I'm going to cut some of the cauliflower and saute it with some kale. So that's what I'm doing now. And I just want to show you what it looks like. Hopefully you can see this. Maybe I can remove the tent. Hang on a second. These tents are wonderful. They keep the birds out. Can you see that? Look at that. I mean, what is that? You know, I'm thinking that, you know, a cauliflower head is supposed to get really big on top, but these are not. And so I am going to cut this and hopefully it will grow back. I'm only going to cut one. I cut it from down at the bottom here where it's really big. See that? They're like little florets, like broccoli. I did look it up, and you're supposed to just cut these off and eat them like it is. So I'm going to cut that, saute it, and use the leaves as well. And hopefully, I'm going to cut these leaves off the bottom. Some of them I actually don't want. They don't look so good. But I'm hoping that it will grow back something. We'll see. You know me. I like experimenting in the garden. Oh, that one doesn't look so good. I don't think I want to eat that. So we'll see. I'm actually going to add a little bit of compost because they're starting to fall over from being so heavy. So I'll add some more dirt in here and then hoping that'll help them to stand up. And we'll see what happens. I'll come back and keep you posted on that. I don't know, can you see my kale? Look at this. I'm going to cut some more off the bottom here. It's really very, very pretty. That's kale. You know, you can do this. This is one container that has one kale plant and 2 of the cauliflower plants. And I've been snipping off of them. I just like to use the kale to get a little bit of color in my food, and of course, you know, some great vitamins also. So I'm not sure if you can actually see my collards here. I can't tell. These are my collards, and so I actually cut some of the baby collards off. I've done this before, which is one of the reasons why they look a little scrawny looking. But I cut those as babies. I have some other collards that I let grow to full heads, but I just cut a few of these babies, and then I saute them in as well with some of the other foods that I do. So yeah, this is what I'm doing today. I think I'm going to a little bit more of this. I also have some mustards over there. I'll show you those in a little bit. But listen, you can do this at home. I'm growing my food in grow bags. They're not that expensive. Get you a grow bag. If you have a patio garden, get you a grow bag. put a little soil in and throw in some seeds. You can do the same. That's my basket. Look at that. So I want to show you what I got from my garden this morning. Look at that. Doesn't that look great? I am going to make a stir fry. This is the cauliflower that I was talking about earlier on my other video. I bought cauliflower thinking that it was going to be like the normal, but first time I've seen this in Nevada, I thought I was buying a regular one, but as it grew, it wasn't. So I'm going to do a stir fry here and sort of walk you through how I do my stir fry. I'm actually missing a few things, but anyway, we'll make it work. So I'm just putting a little bit of olive oil in here, actually quite a bit. I have to saute my onions first. I love my cast iron skillet. This is a Lodge. You can find these at probably most Goodwills. People don't want them anymore, so I have quite a bit. But they work wonderfully. I can actually take them camping with me when I go camping, so don't hesitate if you can find somewhere the cast iron. Don't hesitate to pick it up. So I'm going to put my onions in here. No, my skillet is not hot. It takes a minute for the cast iron to heat up, but keep in mind, once the cast iron is hot, it will maintain its heat, so you definitely don't want to there's a piece of onion and skin in there. You definitely don't want to leave it on just because it will burn your food. It takes a little bit to get to know how to actually cook in cast iron, but I'm thinking that once you get it, you'll learn how. So I'm letting some of the vegetables sort of cook down just a little bit before I add the rest of my ingredients. I have some baby collards, a cauliflower. I picked some mustard greens this morning, and I took some of the leaves from the cauliflower and I actually cut them and I added them as well. And I have some kale, so I'm really excited to see what this is going to taste like. I've just not eaten the cauliflower before, so I'm going to let that cook for a little bit, and I will add some seasonings. This is one of my go-to seasonings, this Chipotle roasted garlic, but I'm completely out of it, so I'm just going to adapt and use some other seasonings that I have. I love garlic, and I don't have any actual garlic, so I'm going to just use the garlic powder. And this is a roasted garlic seasoning as well, Grill Mates. I like that. I have this is different. I don't know if you've seen this before, but I've been using it and it actually tastes pretty good, so I'm just going to put some of that in there. I will add more seasonings as I go along with when I put the the greens in, but sometimes I like for my seasonings that I put in to actually get, I don't want to say a burnt taste, but I like for the seasonings to really cook in. So I'll saute this up a little bit, and I'm going to add my vegetables. It looks really good. Or add my greens. I said vegetables, but I'm going to add my greens. And let it cook down. So I tore my greens a little. And I'm going to go ahead and put those in now. Because as you know, kale takes a bit. But this is, my kale is really not a hard kale. It's really sort of a soft kale. So I'm just going to tear these up and throw them in there. Add some more seasonings and see what we come up with. I think I'll add the cauliflower last because it's really tiny. I have a feeling it's just going to cook really fast. Boy, but I made some salmon the other day. I don't know if you saw the video, but I made salmon, and I bought a whole salmon. This is some of my baby shard. I bought a whole one, and then I cut it up into 8 pieces. And once I cut it up into those 8 pieces, I put it in the refrigerator in containers so that I don't have to cook all week, and I left the slot open so that I can add whatever, I wanted to add, whether it was a starch or vegetables. And I think what I'm going to do now is just add maybe the stir fry in there once I get it cooked today. And I'm also going to cook some sweet potatoes. I bake my sweet potatoes. I oil them first, and then once they're oiled, I cut them in half, and then I oil the inside as well and put them on a cookie sheet with some parchment paper. And then once that's done, I put them in the oven on 350 for about 45 minutes. And they actually get this I don't know, it's sort of like a braised, crispy side to the inside. And then I scoop the inside out. And I've made a video before where I actually scoop the inside out and then put them in containers and put them in the freezer so that they were already ready for me to eat, where I don't have to do anything. But I'm not going to do that today, I don't think. I might, but I know that I'm going to cook them because I actually have a taste for some sweet potatoes. So who knows? Alright, put a little bit more in here, a little bit of thyme, and I love thyme. I put it almost on everything. It probably looks like it's really heavily seasoned, but one thing I know with stir fry is that sometimes it can look, at least for me, and I do season heavily, but I don't like bland food. I'm a Southern woman, and I just like my seasoning. So, yeah. Okay, look at that. Looking good. I think what I'm going to do is add a little bit of chicken broth. I have some chicken broth. And I think I'm just going to add just a little bit of that. Oh, look at those greens. Okay, I think we're about ready to take this out. Kind of keep cooking. All right. So I wanted you to get a really good look at what this looks like before I, scoop it out. But I did taste it, and I can tell you it is absolutely wonderful. Nice, still crisp, a little tender. Some of the vegetables, the chard, looks like it cooked all the way down. But I like my vegetables sort of crisp. Look at that. That looks great. I think I was talking earlier about putting the sweet potato in baking it in the oven. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do a sweet potato right here in this skillet. Look at that. Doesn't that look great? Oh my gosh. It's wonderful. It tastes wonderful. I think what I'm actually going to do is take this sweet potato, and I haven't cut it up yet, but I'm going to cut it up. And then I think I'm just going to put it in that skillet, shred it, and that way I can just eat it with the vegetables, and we'll see what I come up with. I'm always creating. I just do that in my kitchen. If you have anybody that knows me, I'm just constantly making up something. So this is made up. I've not done this before, but I do know how to combine flavors where they, will be, pretty good. So we'll see what this tastes like. So I'm just going to put a little bit more of this olive oil in here. It's pretty hot already. And we're going to cut this sweet potato and just see. I want to see what happens here. Maybe I can do it where you can see. I don't know. I think I'm just going to do little slices. I've actually cooked sweet potato and butternut squash and put the, what do you call it, the molasses or maple syrup on it. And oh my gosh, you're talking about good. Yeah, this is something here that's a little bit different. So we're just going to put the sweet potato in here. And have it all cut up here. You get to watch me do this. Nothing fancy. I'm just making up something as I go along. Have you ever had sweet potatoes with onion? Oh my goodness. Let's see. Turn that down a little bit. Okay. Yes, we're going to do something a little different. You know, if this turns out good, I might have come up with something. You never know. I do love creating. That's a little big. And you're probably thinking, what seasonings would I put on that? Good question. I think I want to have something that's sort of like a sweet, salty. Look at that, just cooking up in that stuff that I had in there. Crazy. Come on. Okay, so just stay with me. See what I'll create. You're gonna wonder what it tastes like. And trust me, I will tell you if it doesn't taste good. I will tell you, oh my God, that is just horrible. But I don't think it's going to be horrible, honestly. I don't think it's going to be horrible at all. So we'll see. Maple syrup. Yep, this is what I do. So far we have onions, sweet potatoes, and olive oil with some maple syrup. And we're going to give it a little bit of salt. Yeah. If it comes out horrible, I will let you know. I want that to cook down, the heat to penetrate. I don't really want these to be really hard. You know how long it takes potatoes to cook sometimes. So we want to separate those so they can actually cook. And I'm thinking, believe it or not, I'm thinking I'm going to put this with those vegetables that I made and see what I come up with. This is how I cook. Sometimes I'll follow a recipe, and then sometimes I'll just actually make up a recipe. So today, I'm actually making up a recipe. I've not done this before, although I have cooked butternut squash steaks, and I sort of, do it the same. You slice them, take out all the seeds, you peel them, take out all the seeds, slice them, and then once you slice them, you put them in the skillet with some butter, and you cook them with a little bit of oil. And then you cook them, add some maple syrup, and cook them until they crisp up.